The truth is, it's almost impossible to keep doing the dawah and stuff and not improve. It might be that you don't feel like you've had the level of improvement that you want, or maybe you're perceiving it in a bit of a different way, like very controlled and focused. The first thing I would say is that in the dawah, what you'll find is that there are certain things which you go through again and again. For example, the concept of Allah, the concept of Risala, the concept of the Arshad. There's certain things that in most dawah conversations, you're going to point to these things, okay? So with those things specifically, I think you should do what comedians do. And what comedians do is that when they have a joke that they want to tell, imagine a famous comedian on TV. He won't go onto TV and tell that joke the first time. The way they do it is they actually practice themselves first. Then they go to very small comedy clubs where there's not many people, there's no cameras, nothing. And they deliver the joke and they see how it hits. And then they adjust and then they do it again and again and again. And when it gets to the point when they're on TV with it, they've delivered it maybe dozens of times, maybe hundreds of times. So that is then a next level of delivery that they have. So in the same way, I'm saying there's certain things in the dawah which are very common that you're going to say a lot. And so those things I would actually practice and I would make it really good. So make it really good could be, okay, I'm going to have this story to illustrate this point. I'm going to have this example for this point. And of course, you can see the other du'at, you can take this, you can take that. It's all for the sake of Allah, it's not a problem. So I think this part of the dawah which is like that. And I think that the more you practice that, the better it will be. Like if I think about the best content I've got, I've probably delivered it dozens of times, maybe hundreds of times. And that's why I know exactly what's going to happen when I talk about it. I know what the people are going to say to me when I ask them a question about it. I know how they're going to react to each point. I know all of it because it's just been so many times that I've delivered it. So one is dealing with these things which are very common that we're going to come up, making sure that you're clear on all of these things. Then there are other things which are not clear. It gets complex, it gets this, it gets that. For those, what I would do is I would basically get clear on what are the routes, what are the ways, what is the directions to get back to something that is practiced. Okay? And even that route would be practiced. So imagine someone comes and says to me something about the age of Arshad, comes and says something stoning or this or that or the metaphysical world or whatever like that. What I would do is I would have certain routes that would take me back to where I need to go. Right? So even if someone's talking to me about the marriage of Arshad, I'll be like, okay, how do I get back to where I need to get back to so that I can then deliver what I need to deliver? So I think it's about practicing those things, and then it's about having routes that will take you back. And this is one of the things that we developed in our era in the early days. When we did the Go Rap, we always said to people, look, that's a really good question. But if you want to understand the answer, you have to understand the foundation of Islam. Is it okay if I explain it to you? Because that became a very simple route for someone who doesn't know much about dawah to always get back to the main thing they do know, which is Allah is one, He sent messengers, the akhirah, all these kind of things.